who is the president of Open Coursework Consortium. So let's go ahead for Larry German.
Thanks for being here, and I actually broke a bunch of friends and made them come to the session. So I want to begin by actually talking what I think is the background of all the stuff that all of us are doing, which is, I call it the next 1% problem, which is that if you look at, this is for Latin America, but just pretend it's the world, that secondary enrollments continue to grow, and tertiary enrollments are climbing faster than secondary. At a continental basis there, but it's true for the globe as well. And what we can imagine is secondary saturates out to be, that everyone is graduating from high school, that universities will be completely impacted in a way we've just started to see. So the issue of what do we do with the next 1% who want to attend university, just like we have in this room, what do we do with them? How do we approach them? They're not the same as the people who were the first 5 or 6% in a country to go to attend higher education, which were only the social elites, right? They're not the same necessarily as even as we massified and we had 30%, 40% enrollment rates. The further you go up this ladder, the more people will have had gaps in their primary and secondary education, and we need to be able to serve them well. So this notion of open curricula, which is not my original idea, Willem just came in, and TU Delft does a whole master's degree in water resource development. You can see Saylor with now almost the entire college online. The African Virtual University has full degree programs, all available as OER. So the idea of curriculum is not new, but I think we have to actually use the word now about open curricula. And so why? One is that one of the good things we do at universities is we have these faculty committees that sit there and constantly revise on an annual basis the undergraduate curriculum and the graduate curriculum. So they look at it for whether it meets today's needs and they adjust it as necessary. So you get this constant updating of curriculum. The other thing they do is that their courses then follow a sequence that's articulated, not just in chemistry that I'm going to show, but in all subjects. That there's this articulated sequence of what they think a learner should go through. So our notion now in open education, which began with open courseware in 2000, which were course materials associated with single courses, or OERs, which could just be a PDF, right? That could be an open educational resource. The problem was that there's no continuity in that. Just by taking a course, you don't become an educated person. So what we've done at University of California, Irvine, which is my day job, is we created open chemistry, which is everything that we teach on an undergraduate level, becoming available publicly and openly, and through a phased process by which we started with video lectures. And I'm going to let the Dean of the School of Physical Sciences explain the rest. It's only a 2-minute, I think, 3-minute video.
Hello, I'm Ken Janda, Dean of the School of Physical Sciences here at University of California, Irvine. I've been a chemistry professor for 35 years. We're proud to join hundreds of other universities and organizations to celebrate Open Education Week. We're using this occasion to announce the availability of OpenChem, the entire series of chemistry lectures necessary to complete the 4-year chemistry major here at the University of California, Irvine. With these lectures, regardless of your circumstances, your age, your gender, where you live, what you do, you can sit in our lecture halls with our students and learn from world-renowned professors. We also invite other universities and individual professors to use any part of one of our lectures, the whole lecture, or the whole series of lectures, free of charge and without asking permission to advance your educational mission. Chemistry is the fundamental science. Everything that happens on the earth and most of the things that happen away from the earth involve chemistry.
Okay, so chemistry is really important. But here I have somebody who 3 or 4 years ago would never be making this talk. He is not only the dean of the School of Physical Sciences, he's a professor of chemistry, and his colleagues over the year include 2 Nobel Prize winners and so forth. And here he is saying, don't ask us permission. So he's got the mantra of open education, and we have a department, and a fairly prestigious one at that, that's collectively decided to release everything openly. It doesn't mean we have universal support from all professors. So some professors, we said, can we film you? And the answer was no. And so, okay, that's it. We move on to the next professor until we've got everything. And so, but you have this, I can't express how different the culture is at UCI over what it was, that we have somebody like this, and we should be looking for these people everywhere we are, because they can really develop these open curriculum in a way that until now we've been focused on courses. Let me go back. So the whole point is that you can go from A to Z. So where is A? So all learning experiences are taking somebody from where they are, like if you remember Vygotsky and all that, starting from where people are or close to where they should be, and then you're moving them forward. So in this case, we recognize, even at the University of California, Irvine, that graduates more chemistry majors than any other university in the United States. We recognize that 25% of our students fail general chemistry. And so the question becomes why? Well, we've done research and we know that people who haven't taken the AP class, people who are minorities, people with lower SAT scores, all have higher risk of failure. So what we did is we started Open Chem at the level of if you didn't succeed in chemistry in high school. And that's almost where we always now have to begin. And we've been trying to do this. We have a biology course on Coursera. That's preparation for biology. So we're beginning with a preparatory courses. But then year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 are all there. You can already see there's enough for the major, but also some electives that we're doing winter quarter, like inorganic chemistry, are coming on board. We also have 3 graduate courses. So we actually keep going. So one of the ideas about Curricula is that you can begin to ask high school students, do you want to study chemistry? And they can actually do an investigation, and that's where it really needs to begin. They can do an investigation, and it's okay for them not to understand what they're looking at. It's an idea for them to sit there and get a feel. Now, of course, there's limitations to video lectures. It's not the end of be all and end all, and so we're working on the topical indexing, the captioning. I'll talk about that in a second. But the other thing that we've done is we've released everything as CC by SA. Notice that there's not an NC on there. So you can make money off this. So long as you're teaching chemistry, we don't care. So long as you're using our stuff that'll help people learn more about chemistry, that's the course. So we've used this license, it's our default license, no one's complaining. And so the other thing we say about Open Chem is now, okay, we've got 4 years, but you don't have to sit there for 4 years, right? I mean, you can start now, be 4 years older at the end of this. So what you can do is you can take 10 minutes of this because you're an instructor and you want to just do one topic. You can take a course that you don't have. Maybe you don't have chemical biology, right? Or biological chemistry, I think is the name of it. So you can take that course. Or you can use it as a framework for adoption by a school or a university of a chemistry curriculum. You can use it in high school. You can adapt it for high school purposes. And so already we get 83,000 visits a month. It goes up by 10% per month. So we have this huge interest in this. And people are literally going to school someplace else and following our lectures. By the way, the same thing kind of happens at UCI. So somebody's in calculus, in Math 2A, and they say, I'm really struggling with calculus. So their professor is not one that's been filmed, but somebody else is. So you get this email saying, where's lecture 7? Well, that's because we're just filming lecture 7. It's the same quarter. So be patient. But that's the thing, is they end up passing calculus and they end up passing organic chemistry because they have a companion. And that's the way we can think about open curricula, is that this is the companion during your college studies. And if I'm giving a presentation now and proudly saying that UCI is doing this, I want all of you to do it. I want there to be, in the same way we did it with open courses, in the same way we did it with OER, I want us to tackle this so that there's high quality, integrated curriculum. And it won't be bad if you can choose from 2 or 3, right? That would be very helpful to us. So this license allows us to reuse, remix, revise, redistribute. Where are we going with it? Of course, we know it needs a lot of things to become full. We started with video lectures. We've got captioning more than half done for year 1. We have topical indexing done for year 1. And we have partners, particularly Cal State University and its Affordable Learning Solutions, that are going to be giving us additional funds for captioning. We're doing the captioning for others. And so with Jerry Hanley, who many of you may know, I started going back and forth on, well, we have to do an MOU and this and that. And of course, with the Creative Commons license, we don't need an MOU. Guess what? All he has to do is share alike. He just has to take our stuff, caption it, and put it back in the ecosystem. So all of a sudden, even the need for an MOU, because no money's passing hands. He's not giving, we're not contracting with him, he's not doing anything, he's not giving us money for the use of OpenChem. He's simply going ahead and captioning and putting it back to the community. So we also need test bank items. We're waiting for David Wiley to give us those. The textbooks, OpenStax now has a general chemistry textbook. They won't go into organic chemistry, so we have a lot of needs around the textbook issues. Homework is another area that people are working on, and so we're going to see that sample exams. We have some, in some of the courses we already have sample exams. And also we need labs. And at the University of California, they won't accept a dry lab, they call it, right? A wet lab is where you're mixing chemicals and blowing things up. This is great. So I'll be stung if I don't finish on time. But they won't accept virtual labs, for example. But there's no reason why we couldn't put something like that into OpenChem. So we're looking at those solutions. But as well, we understand chemistry is a lab science, and the advantage of the student physically working with the chemicals can't be understated. So I don't want to go out on a limb here and say make everything virtual. There's a big advantage to being working as a team, doing a lab together, and that's why they can take all of these resources and provide the lab. So the community colleges all have labs. So it's that notion that what we're doing is giving a resource that's adaptable, reusable, and then we need those other partners who are going to be working with their students and providing some of the experiences that we can't do justice to right now as a virtual project. And so, my day job is at UCI, my night job is at the OCW Consortium, so I just wanted to make another shameless plug. If you aren't members, you should be. Here's just a few of the members, including countrywide consortia in 5 different countries and numerous institutions. And what I'm very proud of is that we go the whole gamut: community colleges, research-run universities. Everybody can join and be a part of this in building out a future for global education. So I finished early, so we have time for questions, please.
Just a quick addendum to what you were saying. I just discovered, in fact, our company is going to become a member. So even small startups, whoever's a startup, join OCW.
Organizations, yeah, absolutely.
Two-part question. One is the purpose of this for education only, or is it for certification?
Well, could it be used for certification? So, for example, because it's CC by SA, somebody would be allowed to use this as educational resources that they then apply their own certification. UCI has no and I think I missed the slide where I said, why isn't it a MOOC? With all the MOOC style certifications. But the reason was because we believe it should be adapted and that we don't know what your need is for this. And so rather than offering you a MOOC and say, please take the MOOC because that's all we offer, we wanted you to say, I need just 10 minutes. I don't want a MOOC, I just want to teach tomorrow. So that's the goal. So there's no certification. We will not get past the department on offering something that sounds like UCI credit. We even have the ability to offer continuing education units for this, but we're not taking that step yet because what you don't want to do is you've got great faculty support. You don't want them to turn on you in an instant, and they have not approved that notion yet. So that's really one of the barriers. Yeah.
So that was my first question. My second one is how could this be implemented into a similar model like Western Governor University does with competency units?
Well, it has to be mapped, right? So once you map it to the competencies, then you could do it. I mean, UC Davis has an agriculture program where they still hand out grades, but they are all mapped to competencies. So that would be a good exercise. And fortunately, it doesn't rely on us anymore because it's all available to you. Somebody else can map it to competencies, including Western Governors. Yes?
I hope I didn't miss this when you said it. Do you offer credit by exam at UCI? Can people use this?
Not for this. We were, of the first 5 Coursera courses, 2 were offered for credit that, by the way, UCI won't accept. But through the American Council on Education, 2,000 universities, including UC Berkeley, are members of the American Council of Education. But even those have to review a transcript and see whether they accept it. Nothing, unfortunately, transferable credit, nothing is automatic at all, unless you're talking about Excelsior, Western Governors, where you can take an exam and be tested on learning. Yes?
Just going back to the beginning of your presentation, if there are going to be fewer people going through a traditional college education, how can open curricula be used to kind of be the next best alternative?
Right, 'cause I think actually it's going to be more going through formal education. So we had the discussion about disruption and so forth here. If you look at the numbers, like when the newspaper industry got disrupted, you actually saw employment go like this. Education, it's at least like this. There's no sign at all that people are laying off part-time lecturers, professors, this or that, because they're going for more efficient models. So I don't actually believe that that's in the future. I think that even in the other session on that Carnegie Mellon did on their OLLI project at community colleges, their data shows that their resources with a instructor or professor had better results than if they taught it MOOC style. So I'm just not, I think that it's going to be more, not less, and that's why curriculum matters. Yeah.
If I understand correctly, it seems to me that this is of greatest use to other institutions who may not have a highly developed or highly specialized or highly experienced chemistry department or course in...
And to individual students who are flailing
Yeah.
around, because they can watch the explanation 6 times in a row. So that's, yes, but we think that there's an institutional adaptation case and also then the individual learners. You're tired, you're still here, I'm so grateful. How much time do we have?
5
We have
minutes.
5 minutes. We should talk about baseball or something.
Yeah, all right, Larry.
Yes.
Nice to meet you up because, so I work with Larry at the Open Courseware Consortium, but I work with community colleges. And he didn't have my logo on the page. No, you did. I'll
Are you
send it to
kidding?
you. Okay, so just to let you know, and we're really excited about it.
I did mention
Larry's-
community colleges.
All right, so he didn't have your logo, he doesn't have mine on either, so, you know.
There you go. There you go.
Send
I won't even do that slide. There wasn't room on the slide.
I noticed that.
And you have a long name. Yes.
Change your name.
How are you measuring success?
Okay, right now, we haven't gotten to the point of measuring success, either in terms of impact or all the things that you might imagine. So what we will do, I'll give you one metric for us which is that 12% of prospective UCI students have previewed an open courseware course. And preview means view, it means video. So we asked by channel, which ones did YouTube, which ones did iTunes U, which ones did the UCI OCW website. And YouTube, as you might not be shocked about, was of the 12%, 9% of the prospective students, both undergraduate and graduate, had used YouTube. The OCW, by the way, was disproportionately graduate students looking at, or prospective graduate students. So why does that matter? It matters for you if you do it because it's like I would joke, I'd say that once that survey was done and once we got that answer, they can't fire me anymore. Because that's the job security. The institution just benefited from this so much that people who are thinking about coming to UCI are looking at the classes that we offer for as part of their decision making. Phase 2 will be asking admitted students. So MIT did this survey every year and their numbers are astronomical. We're at the beginning of the curve up. And so that's one little piece of data just for us. But then we also collect, I mean, it's more anecdotal, but we get all the testimonials. So we get 700, 800 new subscribers every month. We get, the likes are 300, dislikes are 10. I mean, it's that kind of stuff. We get those kinds of YouTube analytics on it. And the average time spent, which is actually for me one of the most important ones, is 9 minutes per video, per view, 9 minutes. So that's great because that's not like I went there, oh no, I'm leaving. I'm spending some time on here. So that 9-minute average is fantastic. And so what you'll find if you adopt open curriculum at your own university is the biggest benefits will first and foremost be your own school. Then you're also benefiting other people, but you're also benefiting the institution because people learn about high quality educational opportunities from your institution. So this, I think, is the ability to convince people of this route. Oh, I didn't mention cost. The cost of filming 15 courses for us was $75,000. So even on an institutional budget, even in times of austerity, that is worth it for an institution to choose the one they want to highlight and get out there with it. So, and that was our cost of filming. You can do it for less. Like if you had media site in every classroom, it would cost less. But we actually filmed. We had 2 cameras, good low light because our auditoriums are like dungeons. So we had good low light performance on it, and so that's the way we did it. Yeah.
With the CC by SA license, which allows remixing, are you tracking any forking or versioning of the coursework?
Tell me how I would do that. How would I track it?
Just maybe asking the reusers who would provide attribution how they're using it and providing a space on that.
Right. So right now we're actually trying to go institution to institution to get adoption and adaptation. So we have some, the local community college is involved with us, but also then if CSU does an adoption, we'll get a fairly large scale view of this. And then that'll become very interesting. It'll become the test case upon which others adopt and so forth. And then I might be able to come back with data. Last question? Well, thank you very much. It was a good question.